Before the Illusion records came out, there was talk of actually developing Without You into a full-length feature movie. Due to logistics, that hasn't been able to be a reality, so what has happened is there's like kind of a condensed version of the story and the visions. Don't Cry segues into November Rain, which hopefully, if there's time, will be a strange part, the third part of it, and it all kind of makes sense. It'll all tell this pretty heavy tale.